Fashion Now with host Styles Lewis.
You're watching Fashion Now with me, Styles Lewis.
Denny Mo's Media House Inc. excels in capturing the essence of celebrities through stunning photography and videography, providing behind-the-scenes access for tours, movies, and television productions, ensuring every moment is expertly immortalized. Looking to elevate your project with professional media services? Hire Denny Mo's Media House Inc. for top-notch photography, videography, and behind-the-scenes coverage. Visit our website at www.dennymosmediahouse.com to learn more and get started.
Today we have such an amazing show. I am here with two-time Super Bowl winner, Mr. Carl Banks. So we, Fashion Now, we got to talk about fashion. We're talking about going from sports to the business of fashion. Carl Banks, Mr. Carl Banks.
Styles.
Thank you so much for letting us
Thank you for
meet
having
with
me
you today.
Thank you for having me. This is incredible. I'm honored to be a part of this.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so we started this show to get into fashion and talk to people about what's going on in the world of fashion. And you're behind the scenes for the most part.
Yeah, I think what I get to do is let my brands do the talking. I think the fashion, or sports fashion, I should say, it's fan driven, but you get a chance to add some flavor to it to appeal to a broader range. And I think the fact that I was able to create something while I was still playing lent its authenticity to what we see now, and it's a testament to the growth and the market share that we have.
So let's take it back to the beginning, Carl. How did you transition from sports to the fashion industry?
I don't even know if it was a transition. I did both at the same time. Like my second year with the New York Giants, I wanted to enter in fashion. Obviously, being in New York is the fashion capital of the world. There was this brand called Starter that just entered into professional sports, and I was one of the first athletes to endorse the brand, and I got a chance to spend some time with their CEO, David Beckerman, right? And I was saying to myself, boy, when I grow up, I want to be just like this, right? And I'm coming from, Flint, Michigan, so we dress a little bit, that Detroit area, Saginaw, we got a little swag to it, but, as I was representing the Starter brand, I was also looking for white space that was not being covered, right? And I thought one of the areas that I could enter into the business while I was still playing was in leather, right? There were no leather coats done in team sports. So I entered that. I went to, the first league that I went to get a license was the NFL. And at that time, NFL didn't know if, being a player, I could focus on it, right? So they said, okay, we'll give you a shot at a license. We're going to give you big and tall suede only jackets. That was basically a license to fail, right? But I won with it, So the next phase of that was, okay, we'll give you big and tall suede and leather. And I just became best in class, right? And at that point, I'd proven myself, and I'd say within 3 years, I was a full service outerwear company, right? Not just leather, not just big and tall, but all sizes, right? Very important to retail at that point. The beautiful part about partnering with a powerhouse like G3, that they're experts in the outerwear business, right? So when other companies, when I had competition in the leather business, they would only make black jackets, right? Black or brown jackets. I made jackets in every team color. And I knew that there were barriers to entry for anybody that wanted to do that because factories weren't set up to do that, right? They'll give you one color blue or they'll give you one color red, but if you look around my showroom, every team has its own unique color, right? And we had factories that were willing to accommodate that, which helped me build the brand to where it was. And then we fast forward to where we are today. You know, I'm able to now take over the Starter brand that was in mothballs for about
Quite some time.
20-something years, and I pulled it back out, and I knew that it would resonate because aside from sneakers, Nike, it's the only brand that has been a part of every major sports championship. The only brand that has been prominent on court, the only brand that really took fandom and made it fashionable, right? You can wear shoes, but like Starter was the brand where you had a jacket, a sweater, or whatever it was, you wanted that because it was so fly. And it resonated in pop culture, right? You could see a who's who, you could see it on television shows in the 90s. You could see the FBI photo of John Gotti walking down in Chinatown with a Raiders jacket on, right? So the brand has resonated, and it's still going strong.
So coming from endorsing the brand, actually like modeling for them and showing up and representing the brand, to being behind the scenes with particularly Starter, how have you added to it and influenced the brand to show up maybe differently than when they started? Or how we know that, or how we knew of them when they started?
Well, I can only speak to my formula, right? And my personal experience with the brand is what shaped my vision for the brand, because I'm just a caretaker for something that was innovative in sport, right? I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just got to make sure that I maintenance this brand the right way, care for it, make sure that it stays important, and not water it down. So that for me is to be present. You know, you say behind the scenes, but if you talk to anybody any of my accounts, they'll tell you I'm there, right? I show up and I show my own product, I sell my own product. I'm a part of every design process with the product. So, and I think that's important right now. Getting business and selling things to people, consumers, they have choices, right? And I want to be present to let them know that I value the business, right? If it's not the end user, it's the end seller, right? I want them to know that when I come, I'm going to personally show you my product collection and tell you the features and benefits of it.
How did you, I guess my question would be, what did you do what was one of the steps you did to bring Starter back to life? What was one of the steps that you implemented?
So, because I was a licensee for leather goods, right? One of my designers and I, we were bringing back like these iconic jackets from movies. And the thing that really sparked the whole conversation was we were talking and we wanted to do a Beverly Hills Cop jacket, and we wanted to do the Coming to America New York Mets jacket, which was starter. And then one character in a green Jets jacket, the other character in the orange and blue Mets jacket. And so I'm like, I need to get starter back into the marketplace. And this is probably 15 years ago now. And then the Beverly Hills Cop, which was a Detroit Lions, Axel Foley, right? So I went to the NFL and said, look, I want to do these iconic movie jackets that have NFL logos on them. Can you give me some protection so that this idea doesn't get stolen? And they're like, okay, we can do one better for you. We know who owns the starter brand, and if you can convince them to partner with you, we would have no problem bringing the brand back into sport, because it was just that important, right? And people have an emotional connection with the starter brand. And so Iconics Group, they own the IP for the license. And people said, oh, you can't, it'll never work because starter is in Walmart now.
Right.
And the starter that was in Walmart is not the starter.
Same starter that you're selling.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't have teams on it, right? But I knew as soon as I reintroduced the starter jacket, all the emotions would start to flow and people would be ready to go. And it was without fail, I think our first customer there was Foot Locker, right? And we launched it with them. It was really good, and we've taken off since then. But you know, you have some challenges.
We'll talk about those.
Yeah, you do have some challenges in terms of competition. You know, there's another big brand out there that once owned the starter IP and didn't want it, and then here I show up and doing really well, and that brand decided that they wanted to pressure a few retailers to scale back on what they do with the starter brand, but we find a way.
So that happens.
It happens, yes.
They try to squeeze you out.
Yeah, yes.
You got many gangs in the fashion business.
Listen, man, I played a contact sport, so I know
So
how
you were
it's
ready
played,
for them.
right? And then you play it without referees in this fashion business, so you can kind of work the way you need to work to make sure your brand is where it should be.
Now, because you are a legendary athlete, how easy was it or challenging was it for you to connect the hip hop element to the starter brand?
Well, that's the easy part, right? Because while I was still playing, the MTVs of the world with Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, they were helping introduce the brand. I had nothing to do with the brand other than me just wearing it, right? Mm-hmm. But you could see how the brand and the jackets and its colors represented different cities, right? And you would see leaders of the new school, yes. You'd see Run DMC, LL Cool J. It was just so many different people that were wearing it, and being here in New York and winning in New York, you resonate with the entertainment industry, not just the music industry, but the entire entertainment industry, right? And you go to dinner and you see some people that you saw on TV, Kadeem Hardison, right? From a different world, and he's as big a fan of me as I am of him.
So you didn't technically scout out any of the celebrities?
No. Like these guys were wearing, like Kadeem Hardison wore my jersey on A Different World before I even knew him, right? And so it was just kind of a synergy with entertainment and hip hop, because the starter brand was culturally relevant, right? No other brand was doing that. No other brand could do that because it connected emotionally with people in the things that they love, right? So if I could wear that blue Giants jacket, and you're too young to know this one, but like to the Red Parrot nightclub on a Thursday night, Me and one of my teammates, we pull up, and behind us is another limo, and a guy gets out and he's screaming, "Yo, Carl Banks, Pepper Johnson, what's up?" And we turn around,
And he's wearing your clothes.
and it's DMC. And DMC's wearing a starter jacket, like, "Yo, Giants, baby." And like, he's a big Giants fan.
But were
He's
you already
repping.
associated
I was still
with it?
playing.
You were still
I
playing
was
at
still
this time.
repping
Okay.
the brand, right? I
Got
was
it,
still
got it.
playing. But you talk about how did the brand connect? It was organic, right? And so it's the same thing we're doing now. I mean, being best in class, having iconic pieces that are timeless, you know, it just spans generations. Like when I first got the brand, you know, my son was in high school and he's shopping vintage stores looking for starter jackets and saying to me, "Why don't you get this brand? You should bring this brand back," right?
So your son had some ideas.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had the same idea. How about that? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
You shared the same idea.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me ask you this: what do you? Well, you basically told us what you love about the brand, but how does it work with the fan sports? Right, it's sports, so it's like fan clothing for the most part. Now it's
Lifestyle.
gelled into lifestyle streetwear. We would call it streetwear at one point. Now it's lifestyle. What do you tell a new designer or a new streetwear designer, someone who wants to build their brand out? Because you brought life back to a brand that was
Sure.
that could have been dying. So what would we say to a new designer? Because one of the things you said just now was we don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Sure.
So what would be something you would say to a new designer wanting to start their own brand or connect like this?
Well, I have experience in both. I have experience in building
Yeah.
my G3 Sports brand, right? And then I have experience in inheriting or taking on a brand and reinvigorating it. And the only thing I would say to an emerging designer is believe in your vision and stay true to it. It's just as simple because, again, I got a license to fail with a big and tall suede jacket, and I made it work because I believed that there was an opportunity for my product to be in the marketplace. And while I were still waiting for me to fail at this sector, nobody else was entering it. So I knew I had time, right? So if I got better at what I did, I knew that my market share would open up and that the leagues, the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball would have no choice but to say, okay, yeah, you have a product and our market needs it, go for it.
What does it look like to push your own brand when you show up at these places and you're like, buy my stuff? What does that look like talking to Foot Locker?
I can tell you my first Foot Locker meeting.
Yeah.
The first 30 minutes was all about football.
Because they're in awe with
Fans,
you.
right?
Got it.
And so, I don't know if they took the meeting because they had a chance to meet Carl Banks,
Yes,
Super
that
Bowl
could be.
winner. But I would say 30 minutes into the meeting, they understood that I was serious about business and I came to talk about business. And yeah, some of them early on were impressed with the fact that I actually built something and I wasn't just hawking, putting my name on something and saying, hey, sell this for me. But also I have experience because I've been doing for the last 20 something years now, shows on Home Shopping Network and on QVC. And I'm the most important sports brand on Home Shopping Network, right? And so that's a whole nother science, right? Because the magic of selling on Home Shopping Network, I'm selling to you. You can't touch my product. You can't touch it. You can't try it on. And you really can't even discuss with me what it is that they should like about it. So I'm here in front of this camera and I'm telling you the benefits and features of something, and I got to earn your trust, right? And when I tell you you're going to get it home and it's going to feel this way, it's going to look this way on you, and you're going to love it. And they get it, they open it up, and it is what you say it is. You got a customer for life.
Hey, thanks for watching Fashion Now with Styles Lewis one-on-one with Super Bowl champ Carl Banks. Tune back in for part 2. And don't forget to like, share, and
You know,
subscribe.
I'm baptized in fire.
Who encourages you?
Hey, I'm Carl Banks, president of G3 Sports and starter, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and you're watching Fashion Now.